Hello friends, in the previous lecture we have seen the concept of equivalence class and we know that equivalence class of an element is always non-empty because the element itself always belongs to the equivalence class. Today we are going to see more theorems on these equivalence classes. So consider firstly the lemma. It says that let X be any non-empty set and let equivalence be an equivalence relation on X. If an element Y belongs to equivalence class of X, then we want to prove that equivalence class of X is same as equivalence class of Y. So see the proof. What is given to us? It is given that Y belongs to equivalence class of X. This means that X is related to Y. This is your definition of equivalence class. An element belongs to equivalence class of X means that X is related to that element. So X is related to Y, and also by symmetry Y is also related with X. This is by symmetry because the relation is equivalent. So it is symmetric also, and therefore by symmetric Y is related to X also. This is known to us. Now we want to prove that equivalence class of X is same as equivalence class of Y. That is, we want to prove that equivalence class of X is subset of Y and equivalence class of Y is also subset of equivalence class of X. So we want to prove this. Now we know that A is subset. Why this is the result? Because we know that A is equal to B if and only if A is subset of B and B is also subset of A. Also we know that if I want to prove that A is subset of B, when it is true, this is if and only if I start with an element X in A and I am able to prove that X also belongs to B, then only we say that A is subset of B. So to prove that A is subset of B, we will start with an element X in A and prove that that element is also present in B. So if I want to prove that, I should start with an element in equivalence class of X and prove that that is also present in equivalence class of Y. So start with, let us assume that Z belongs to equivalence class of X. So by definition of equivalence class, X is related to Z. This is by definition of equivalence class. So see now, X is related with Z. Now we know that Y is related with X and X is related with Z. So obviously Y will be related with Z, and therefore by 2, 3 and transitivity, because Y is related with X and X is related with Z implies that Y is related with Z. This is by transitivity, and because Y is related with Z, by definition of equivalence class, this implies that Z also belongs to equivalence class of Y by definition of equivalence class. Because Y is related with Z, this implies that Z also belongs to. So starting with Z belongs to equivalence class of X, we have proved that Z belongs to equivalence class of Y, means that therefore Z belongs to equivalence class of X also implies that Z belongs to equivalence class of Y, and therefore equivalence class of X is subset of equivalence class of Y. This is our first important result. Now we will prove that equivalence class of y is subset of equivalence class of x. So start with an element w in equivalence class of y. What this implies by definition? This implies that y is related with the w. This is by definition of equivalence class. This is our result 4. So now see, y is related with w and we know that x is related with y. So use this 1 and 4 and transitivity. So using 1, 4 and transitivity, what we get? 1 gives x is related with y and this gives y is related with w. So by transitivity we get x is related with w. And if x is related with w, by definition of equivalence class, this implies that w belongs to equivalence class of x. By definition of equivalence class. So observe that w belongs to equivalence class of y, therefore w belongs to equivalence class of y also implies that w belongs to equivalence class of x and therefore equivalence class of y is subset of equivalence class of x. So this is our result 2nd. Now combine this 1 and 2 both together. So by result 1 and 2, equivalence class of x is subset of equivalence class of y and equivalence class of y is also subset of equivalence class of x. This implies that equivalence class of x is same as equivalence class of y, hence proved. So we have proved the result that if an element belongs to equivalence class of another element, then both have same equivalence classes. Equivalence class of x and equivalence class of y are same. So we have only used 2 results in this. A is subset of b if and only if x belongs to A implies that x also belongs to B. And second, A is equal to B if and only if A is subset of B also and B is subset of A also. Using the 2, we have proved that if an element belongs to equivalence class of another element, both have same equivalence classes. Now once you know that, we are going to see one of the most important theorem which states that any 2 equivalence classes are either identical or disjoint. The same theorem can be stated as, let X be any non-empty set and let equivalence be an equivalence relation on set X. If elements X and Y belongs to set X, then exactly one of the following is true. The first result is equivalence class of X intersection equivalence class of Y is empty, and the second result is equivalence class of X is equal to equivalence class of Y. This first implies that because the intersection is empty set means that those equivalence classes are disjoint equivalence classes. Or if we have this one, equivalence class of X is same as equivalence class of Y, we have they are identical. So we want to prove that any 2 equivalence classes are either identical or disjoint. If first is true, then they are disjoint, and if second will be true, then they are identical. So See the proof. Let us start with two elements x and y in the set X. If you consider intersection of X, equivalence class of X and Y, there are only two possibilities. Either the intersection is empty or non-empty. So there are two possibilities for intersection. The first case is, the first possibility is equivalence class of X intersection equivalence class of Y is empty, and the second possibility is it is non-empty. Either it is empty or it is non-empty. Now consider the first case. If equivalence class of X intersection equivalence class of Y is empty, this implies that because the intersection is empty, there is no common element in both the sets. So this implies that equivalence class of X and equivalence class of Y has no common element. And if they have no common element, they cannot be equal, and therefore equivalence class of X is surely not equal to equivalence class of Y. So only one hold. In that case, the first statement is true, second will never hold. Therefore, in this case, only first statement is true, that is equivalence class of X intersection equivalence class of Y is phi. Only this is true. This second cannot be true. Now consider case 2. Case 2 is equivalence class of X intersection equivalence class of Y is not empty set. If the first, so in this case it is not happening first, so we should prove that the second will happen. So statement 1 is not true in this case. So we claim that, so we want to prove that equivalence class of X and equivalence class of Y must be same. If the first is not true, second should be true. Statement 2 should be true, and 2 is nothing but equivalence class of X is equal to equivalence class of Y. Now similar, we want to prove this, and what is given to us? It is given that their intersection is not empty. So start with the given. We have given that equivalence class of X intersection equivalence class of Y is not equal to phi. Means that there exists at least one element which is common to both. So let us assume that some element Z belongs to equivalence class of X intersection equivalence class of Y for some Z in X. This means that because it is in intersection, it belongs to both. It belongs to equivalence class of X also, and it belongs to equivalence class of Y also. Now we have proved above lemma. What is our above lemma? Above lemma says that if an element belongs to equivalence class of another element, both have same equivalence classes. So you can use above lemma and show that equivalence class of Z is same as equivalence class of X. Similarly, equivalence class of Z is same as equivalence class of Y, and so equivalence class of Z, X and Y are equal. That is equivalence class of X is equal to equivalence class of Y. If you use above lemma. If you don't want to use above lemma, then you have to prove this totally. So we will prove this. This implies that X is related with Z and Y is also related with Z by definition of equivalence class. So X is related with Z and Y is related with Z. Now Y is related with Z implies that this remains as it is, x is related with z, I use symmetric relation. This implies that z is related with y by symmetric relation, because the relation is equivalence. It is symmetric also, so obviously z will be. And then by transitivity, so this implies that x is related with y by transitivity. So I will consider this as first statement, that is x is related with y, that is my first statement. Now I want to prove that equivalence class of x is equal to equivalence class of y, means that if you start with an element in equivalence class of x, it should belongs to equivalence class of y also, and obviously another way, that is conversely. So start with an element A in equivalence class of x. So A belongs to equivalence class of x implies that x is related with A. X is related with A, and now see that x is related with y means that y is also related with x. So we will use symmetric of this relation, and what we have, this is our second result. Now by one and symmetric relation, this implies that use one and symmetric, y is also related with x. So consider second and third. So by second, third and transitivity, this implies that y is related with x and x is related with A, means that y is also related with A. Means that because y is related with A belongs to equivalence class of y. Therefore, A belongs to equivalence class of y by definition of equivalence class. So observe that starting with A belongs to equivalence class of x, we have proved that A belongs to equivalence class of y. So thus, starting with A belongs to equivalence class of x, we have proved that A also belongs to equivalence class of y, and therefore equivalence class of x is subset of equivalence class of y. This is our first result. Now we will prove that equivalence class of y is subset of equivalence class of x. And how to prove that equivalence class of y is subset of equivalence class of x? Start with an element in equivalence class of y and also prove that it is an element of equivalence class of x. So start with an element, suppose b belongs to equivalence class of y. This implies that y is related with b. Now we know that y is related with b. This is my fourth result, and y is related with b, and we want to prove that this b belongs to equivalence class of x. So we want to prove that x is related to b also. So y is related to b, and use the given thing. See what is given to us. It is given that x is related with y by 1. So use that 1. X related to y and y. So I will use 1 and 4th by 1, 4th and transitivity. X is related with y and y is related with b implies that x is also related with b by transitivity implies that b belongs to equivalence class of x. Thus, b belongs to equivalence class of y also implies that b belongs to equivalence class of x, and therefore equivalence class of y is subset of equivalence class of x. This is our second main result. And now use this first and second together. Equivalence class of x is subset of equivalence class of y, and equivalence class of y is subset of equivalence class of x. So by 1 and 2 together, what we gave, this implies that equivalence class of x is equal to equivalence class of y. So in this case, statement second is true. So exactly one statement is true. Either first is true or statement second is true. In the first case, we have proved that statement 1 is true. And in the second case, we have proved that statement second is true. Means that exactly one of them is true. That is, either any two equivalence classes are identical or they are disjoint. So you can here observe that I have proved the total part, but here if you use lemma 1, you can directly get using lemma 1, that is equivalence class of Z is equal to equivalence class of X, and equivalence class of Z is equal to equivalence class of Y, and then all the three are equal, means that equivalence class of X is equal to equivalence class of Y. So here also the proof ends if you use lemma 1. I am not using lemma 1, I proved it separately, and therefore we have to show that equivalence class of X and equivalence class of Y in that case is identical. So depending on these two cases, if case 1 happens, only result 1 is true, and if case 2 happens, only result second is true. So obviously exactly one of the following will be true. So this is very important theorem, that any two equivalence classes are identical or disjoint. So there are three main theorems on this equivalence class. The first states that every element belongs to its equivalence class. So equivalence class of an element is never empty set. The second says that if an element belongs to equivalence class of other element, implies that both have same equivalence classes. And the third statement says that any two equivalence classes are either identical or disjoint. Now we will see one more concept, that is of partition. So what is meant by partition opposite? That is one new concept. So the definition is the partition of a non-empty set X is pairwise disjoint collection of subsets of X whose union is X, or in another words, a family of subsets A alpha which are subsets of X such that alpha belongs to index set. This is notation for index set. Alpha belonging to index set is partition of X if two conditions are satisfied. The first condition is that A alpha intersection A beta is equal to phi for all alpha and beta in index set, alpha not equal to beta. That is, if you take any two partitions, so intersection should be empty, that is phi set. And the second is that the union of all A alpha, alpha belonging to index set is always equal to X. So if these two conditions are satisfied, we say that that family of subsets gives the partition of X. For example, let the set A is equal to 1, 2, 3. Then which are partitions of X? Then sum of the partitions of X are, sum of the partitions of A are, the first partition I will say singleton 1, singleton 2 and singleton 3. observe that if you take the intersection, so this is first P1, P2, P3, suppose 3 partitions. So if you take their intersection, nothing is common. So intersection is empty. And if you take their union, we get the whole set 1, 2, 3. If you take union, you should get whole set. And if you take intersection, it should be empty. Then only it is partition. One of the partition is, for example, 1, 2 and 3. Observe that if you take the intersection, empty set, and if you take their union, we will get whole set A, and therefore this is also partition. 1, 2 together, 3 in one set. The third partition, we can write down this as 1, 3 and 2. Observe, this is also partition. Why? If you take the intersection, it is empty, and if you take the union, we will get whole set A, 1, 2, 3. The next partition, I will write this as 2, 3 and 1. So see, this is the partition because if you take their intersection, empty, and union is whole set. You can take the partition as 1, 2, 3. This is also partition because this partition, if you have there is only 1, 2, 3 together. So this is also partition as it also gives the whole set and the intersection is empty. So all these are nothing but partitions opposite. Why these partitions are important? We want to prove one theorem, and it says that every partition opposite A induces an equivalence relation, and every equivalence relation gives a partition. So once you know the partition, you are able to write corresponding equivalence relation, and if you know the equivalence relation, you are able to write the corresponding partition. So in the next theorem, we will see how to get from partition equivalence relation and from equivalence relation partition. So in the next lecture, we will see the theorem and example on this. Enough for the day. Thank you.